Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Resident Rulebreakers. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Camille.
And on today's podcast, we are celebrating Thanksgiving because it is Thursday, and it's a time for us to
family.
Time for us to be thankful for what happened. Of course, unfortunately, this year we're in the middle of a outrageously out of control pandemic.
Yep.
And so it's going to be very limited. This year, I'm just going to eat with my parents, my dad and my stepmom. That's it.
We have I don't think my uncle and aunt and cousins can come, so we're just gonna do like video call with them or whatever.
But yeah, most of the time when you think of, at least for me, when I think of Thanksgiving, is family and food and giving thanks for what you have. That's what it's about. And this episode of The Resident, which we're gonna get into in a moment, it really does, it touches on the heart of the holiday. I really loved this episode because of that. It showed the heart of Thanksgiving. The family focus with AJ and Nick, to just being grateful for what you have. And yeah, it also made me cry. This episode actually made me cry. Every time I watch it, I cry at the end, and I'm going to tell you why when we get into it. But before we get into it, this week we had a promo release. Fox released a promo for 401, which we have no title for at the moment. When we do have a title, that's really the next step, is getting the title for that.
And promo pictures and everything else.
And yeah. But for now, it's the untitled premiere, which we have a promo for, and guess what? There's only two things in there: the pandemic and the Connick wedding. That's it. They're gonna honor
a little bit of Minotaur.
There's a little bit of Minotaur. But they're honoring the frontline workers who have died during the pandemic, and I'm grateful for that. I know people are tired of hearing it, but we are living it, whether you like it or not. And it would be irresponsible, and I'm going to say this again and again and again and again until this is over. It were irresponsible for these shows not to cover it.
Well, Amy has said it's only going to be for the premiere. So
yeah, it's only going to be for the premiere. So for you people who see this in the promo and go, "Oh, this is what they're covering," or they see it in the fact that they did the pictures, the poster and everything, the way they did it. It's only they're going to cover it, but it's going to be in the premiere. So just
don't be 1 hour.
1 hour. And in that hour, not only do we have a wedding, so there's like we said last week, there's uplifting moments. There's uplifting moments as well with a wedding. So So I think it looks like it's a good promo. Like, I was so excited when it popped up on my computer screen. I was like, yay! So go check it out. It's pretty much everywhere. It's on the Residents YouTube channel. If you're in America, you can get it from their YouTube channel. They restricted it down to the United States only. For foreigners, it is on their Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. It's
on our page as well.
Yeah,
it's on our page as well. This is why I don't just post the YouTube link, is because there's a lot of international fans who can't, access the American, American videos or whatever, because there's a lot of international fans. So it's like.
Anyway, so in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we're gonna delve right in here. Episode 308 of The Resident, called Peking Duck Day, directed by David Crabtree, who I've dubbed the holiday guy.
I
there's a lot of holiday themed episodes, you have to admit. Come on.
I think he would like that title. He'd probably laugh if we told him. We're like, "You're the holiday director." We're like, what?
And written by Elizabeth Klaviter and Michael Notarile.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first plot line, obviously, we referenced it, is AJ. And his bio and adoptive families come together and he meets his brothers for the first time. And I
just love that his brothers are like opposite of him, sort of, but they're also alike, if that makes sense.
I love when they get out of the car and Lamar goes, "The purple man bun. Can we do without the purple man bun?"
Lamar is a crack up in this whole episode.
But there's a scene where AJ's talking about his like album collection or something.
Yeah.
And they go, "What are you doing but doing an imitation of Dad?" And he's like, "No, that's just me."
I think that's him. Oh my god. AJ and Lamar are more alike than anything. But no, but I there was this one line that really touched me and that I like took to heart, is when AJ was talking about how his dad, who's Chinese, has, you know, taught him a lot about Chinese culture or whatever, and has implemented it into the holidays. Because his dad was talking about, we don't do turkey here, we do Peking Duck, which is why it's called Peking Duck Day. The episode was called Peking Duck Day. But anyway, the brother was like, "But you're not Chinese." And AJ was like, "But you're right, I'm not biologically Chinese, but my dad is Chinese. He raised me with the Chinese culture, so I am culturally Chinese." You know what I mean?
He said, "I'm as Chinese as a black boy with a Chinese father and a black mother."
Yeah, third generation or something like that.
Yeah, which is exactly how he was raised. So
yep. And I relate to that in so many ways, because I am biologically Filipino. My parents are all Filipinos. My grandparents, my whole family's Filipino as far back as I can know. But because for 8 years of my life, from when I was 10 to when I was 18, I was raised by a black family. My foster parents were black. I grew up in a mostly black neighborhood. I went to school in historically black college, went to mostly black high school and middle school and stuff like that. That, in a way, is sort of culturally, I'm more black than I am Filipino, even though now that I'm living with my parents more immersed in the Filipino culture, I've been reintroduced to the Filipino culture, but still, there's still black culture there. You know what I mean? Like I didn't grow up in my own culture, so I'm sort of like AJ, where he's black, he's full black, but because his adopted dad was Chinese, and you know, his dad taught him Chinese culture, kind of thing. He is still Chinese, sort of culturally. So I'm sort of like AJ in that sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Am I making any sense?
You make perfect sense. You make perfect sense. But no, there's a scene closer to the end of the episode where AJ's at the hospital and he's talking to Conrad, and they have a conversation. And despite the fact that Conrad has no siblings, he gives him advice to try to bridge the gap between his siblings so he can begin to know them. And so he tries to act off of that at the end of the episode. So despite the fact that because Conrad admits he always wanted a brother. So never got one.
What if Marshall has like a kid out there somewhere? Anyway, well, Marshall might be hiding a child in the world.
Speaking of Conrad, Connick has their sexy Thanksgiving scene. You know, when when that scene first, it was a sneak peek for this episode when they first started trying to publicize
on the couch or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I vividly remember that, and people going crazy over it. But anyway, and they're interrupted by Kyle, and Kyle brings a girl that's got a very similar background to Jessie to their Thanksgiving. Kyle brings this girl that it really truly was pretty much the same background, overdose on Oxy and all that stuff in rehab. But it's their first Thanksgiving without Jessie. And it's first Thanksgiving without, after you lose a loved one, especially one that you're truly close to, believe me, it's any holiday really that you have family involved, it's super hard.
Yeah.
And
I think that Nick was such a strong person for like letting the girl there, because I'm sure that it's like too much of a reminder in a way of Jessie, because the girl looked to be about the same age as Jessie, looked to have this similar story, that kind of thing. And it's only been a couple months since Jessie passed at that point in time. So,
but there's a scene at the end of the episode where Kyle's watching old home videos of Jessie and Nick at probably the last Thanksgiving their mother was alive, because they mentioned she died very close around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And which is a very hard thing. If you have a relative die around a holiday, that just ruins it for you. So with all that, like, yeah, I cried. I've cried every time I've watched that scene.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's the scene that makes me cry every time. Because she's like, I love Thanksgiving and I love you, or something like that. Like,
yeah. I don't think I've lost anyone so far, knock on wood, close to a holiday. I don't think so anyway. But I can't even imagine that pain, like if you were to lose someone close to the holidays or whatever. Because, excuse me. It's hard. Holidays would never be the same, I guess. And that ties into Conrad's patient, who's the kid, right?
Yeah.
He had a heart condition. Did they ever say what it was? Hypoplastic.
I don't really
remember
the name of the heart condition, but there's this little boy that lives near Nick and Conrad, and he's having
neighbors.
Yeah, they're neighbors, and he pretty much has his heart's stopping, and they have to restart it. And anyways, the reason why AJ ended up at the hospital is because Conrad calls him in to do surgery on this kid. So because as Conrad put it in the episode, if he dies on Thanksgiving, his brother is never going to love Thanksgiving ever again.
Yeah. Yeah. AJ was like, as much as I would love to delay this for tomorrow or whatever, he's not going to survive for tomorrow if we don't do the surgery today. You know what I mean? I feel that's got to be crazy. But
so yeah, there's that, and then poor little boy, yeah, and it can be tough, especially when you, as a kid, not really understanding medical stuff, and seeing someone you love, whether it be a sibling like that or a younger sibling or a grandparent, suffer. It's hard. So so thank God that these doctors, at least on this show, have enough empathy to be able to step in and save this little boy. So
one thing that I'm noticing in a lot of the scenes with the doctors is how they're like, it's weird to say it, but they're grateful to be in surgery more than they are with their family. You know what I mean?
Well,
this is like their happy place.
There's a scene where Mina and Belle are operating, and they more willingly want to be at work than be with their families.
Yeah.
And So yeah, with Mina, I kind of understand it because she is an immigrant and she's alone.
Yeah.
She really doesn't she doesn't get along with her mother. We know that for a fact. All her sisters are dead. So she's alone pretty much, right? With Belle, he is alone because he keeps getting divorced.
You're so funny.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that was a coping mechanism for them to being able to deal with the holiday.
Yeah, being in surgery all the time and stuff like that. But yeah, they had I've noticed that that's in other medical shows when they do Thanksgiving episodes, a lot of them are like, I'd rather be here in the hospital. Like I remember one time, I think it was season 2 or season 3 of Grey's Anatomy, Derek was jumping in and out of operating room, and Addison was like waiting for him to get, and stuff. And same with Richard, like all of the characters just rather would stay in the hospital. I don't know, but anyway,
if you don't have a good home life, you really don't want to deal with it. So
no, yeah. And then there's Conrad, that you brought up. Belle and Minna. Belle and Minna had their superstar patient or whatever.
Yeah, they had a VIP patient that had a fully intact turkey wishbone stuck in his throat.
How did you not know that? you swallowed a whole bone? That's just beyond me. But
anyway,
he had mashed potatoes. What did he have?
It was eating mashed potatoes, and it was stuck in the mashed potatoes. Which, by the way, how do you not notice that?
I have no idea. How do you not chew or break apart the bone for you to swallow it?
Anyway, this guy has to have surgery, and Logan Kim, we all hate Logan Kim. Anyway, Logan Kim, because this is season 3, steps in and brings in Torres. Everyone remembers Torres, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Brings in Torres and tries to get publicity for the hospital. And Belle's just like, no, you shouldn't do this because I can do this better or whatever. And he's the chief of surgery. Well, unfortunately, there's complications to the surgery, and Belle has to step in and do the surgery anyway. Another one. So
I feel like Logan Kim also used the fact that Torres was a POC, because remember when Belle was like, hey, why are you taking the surgery from me? I'm the chief of surgeon. This should be my surgery. He's not that good or whatever. So Kim was like, well, the guy is young, and he also represents diversity for the staff. And I'm sitting there going, so is he talking about the fact that he's young? That's why he's he represents diversity, or is it because he's a Hispanic dude based on his last name that you're saying that he represents diversity? Like, why would we want to tote out an old white guy and be like, hey, here's my heroic surgeon who's doing the surgery or whatever, but here's this young buck who's Hispanic or whatever, it's representing the Hispanic community and stuff like that. So I just feel like Logan wasn't just exploiting him as being a good surgeon, which Minna admitted that he was. But
and if you get that praise from Minna, you're on to something.
Yeah. But it's also that he was a person of color who was exploiting that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but he did it and they did it in the wrong way, because Belle really should have had his hands on that one. I agree with that one.
Belle sent Minna to spy on the guy.
I love their relationship in the 3rd season. He's just like,
same
you want me to spy on him, don't you? And he's like, yeah.
It's so hilarious because we're watching season 1 right now, right? Consecutively with season 3. This is anyway. the evolution of Belle's relationship with all of the doctors, not just Minna, but I'm talking
not
about
just his
Conrad,
evolution of the
AJ.
character of his with the other characters, but his evolution as a character.
Yeah, it's just like so drastic. It's so drastic because I mean, season 1 he was threatening deportation with Minna. Season 3 he's like buddies with Minna.
Yeah, it's definitely a 180 in the other direction, but
in a good direction.
In a good direction. But also in this episode, because like this is 3-8, so 3-7 was Woman Down. That's the episode where Jessica has her wreck. And we'll probably eventually get into and we'll probably eventually get into that episode like down the road when we don't have a new season on the horizon. But it talks about her recovery and Irving. Oh God, he's such a sweetheart. I just want to hug him. Like seriously, I had feels for like this is one of the episodes that made me really love them as a couple.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. And Jessica's wearing his helmet and she's like, I want to watch football because like at least down here in the South, football and Thanksgiving are like they're like glue.
Yeah, that's like a tradition. You get turkey and football as our traditions for Thanksgiving.
Anyway, so they watch football, American football, for you foreigners. And anyway, so Irving surprises her and gets Devin and Nurse Hunley and all of them together, and they watch football. And yeah, I thought that was really cute and really special, and they had a Thanksgiving dinner together. So that's another Thanksgiving tradition that they wrapped up into this episode.
It's football.
Yes, football. And the other thing is, and you can probably imagine where we're going with this. If you thought Halloween was bad with injuries, Thanksgiving is worse.
Oh, yeah.
People try to, like the guy that tried to deep fry his turkey while it was still frozen. That will make it go and explode. Just so you know.
Why are people stupid? Why are people so stupid? Like, you don't just go, it's like, oh God, you're so stupid for even doing that. But,
I understand the deep fry. It just has to be completely thawed out to do it.
Yes. I mean, hello. I mean, it's called, like, what?
Or don't take psychedelics while you have while
you're trying to carve a knife.
Trying to carve a turkey
or something.
And then there's the guy that got injured while he tried to put his Christmas decorations up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a very normal thing in my house, to put Christmas up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same here with my family.
But, so yeah, it's another thing. But yeah, I laughed about the Rudolph and they're like, oh, no, it's Christmas. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Irving and Gavin were making bets on how many Thanksgiving-related injuries they could get.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it's a fair warning to be careful in the kitchen during Thanksgiving. Or you might just end up in the emergency room.
Especially with the coronavirus going on, be extra careful because, like, the hospitals are already overworked and overtired.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
ICU beds are probably limited. Please don't burn yourself with.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's everywhere. Like the CDC and everybody are warning people not to gather for Thanksgiving, unless you truly were tested or whatever. Please safe with whatever restrictions you have in place. Please, we don't want to see another uptake, which I'm fairly certain will happen because people are stupid. But by Christmas, people are going to end up from Thanksgiving that got exposed at Thanksgiving. By Christmas, they're going to end up in the ICU. So, just a fair warning, guys. Just to be careful. And I love this line from Belle that said, "Why does Thanksgiving cause so many people to be so gluttonous?" just have
It's
unlimited amounts of Thanksgiving.
You get like all this. It's a one time of the year that you can eat as much as you can and not feel guilty.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Our Patreon. We do have a new Patreon patron, so thank you to our new patron. Yes, thanks, Diane. And
hey guys, no, seriously though, y'all need to can y'all donate to the Patreon account? It's awesome. We got some new news coming in that is that we're working on and only our Patreons know about. So, like,
we'll eventually let you know publicly. We just have to confirm some things with a very, very special source.
Let me put it this way. Be a Patreon and you will be waiting, anticipating with us for the whole thing. But yeah
we're very excited about this one. But in the meantime, because if you notice the way the titles of the episode work, it says season 2 of the podcast, right? Well, season 3 of the podcast will start in the new year and correlate with the new season. So anything that we do in the new year will have another season number on it. It will be the 3rd season of the Resident Rulebreakers to correlate with the 4th season of the Resident. Because we started.
How does that make sense?
Because we started in season 2, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
It's confusing. I'm aware of it. But yeah, new season starts in January. But until then, we have 3 more podcasts
of the year.
And next week's is going to finish off the 1st season. So 114, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Yeah. And Micah, big episode for Micah. Big episode for Nick. Minna. And Minna and Nick. And just it's a
Lane.
big episode. Lane. So
and Belle.
Then the 7th and the 14th, which is the first 2 weeks of December, we're going to jump into the end of the season 3 to prepare for season 4. We've already done the season 3 finale, so you can go back and listen to that podcast. But we're going to be doing 318 on the 7th, and which is So Long Gone Long, and 319, which on the 14th, which is Support Sister.
Yep. And then the last 2 weeks of 2020, we are taking a break because it's Christmas and New Year's, and we want to spend time with our family, and we wish so we're gonna take a break for the last 2 weeks of 2020, and we'll hopefully have something big on the first week of January.
Yeah, well, we have something huge. We can't say more than this. Huge plan to start January, and then of course the next week the premiere, the season 4 premiere, is on the 12th. So and we'll be with you all the way. We're gonna discuss the new episode every week. So that'll be what we do in the new season.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We just got new episodes. That's all.
Yeah.
So there's all that. You can message us on our email. It's theresidentRulebreakers@gmail.com. And so you can always email us. Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Facebook, which is the Resident Rulebreakers podcast, or the Resident Fox Fans Facebook group. And there's a button at the top of the podcast page to take you to it if you're not already a member of the group.
Yep.
And then there's the Instagram, which is at the Resident Podcast. Camille does have Instagram, the Resident on Fox Fans, and then I'm KB Country 37. And then you can go to Twitter, and we're at Resident Podcast.
Yep.
There. We try to keep everything up to date on all 3 platforms, but sometimes we miss one, you know. So sorry.
We'll be more kind on Patreon too. We have to add more stuff on Patreon.
But we're trying, you know. Everyone, please have a happy and safe and COVID-free Thanksgiving.
Yes, please.
Please, we don't want to hear about anybody in the hospital between now and Christmas or any other holiday that you celebrate in that time period.
Yep.
So
enjoy your turkey. Don't deep fry it while it's frozen. Be safe. Eat as much as you can.
Yeah. And for our foreign listeners, we know you don't celebrate this holiday like we do, but I hope the episode gives you a glimpse into what this holiday is all about for Americans.
Yep. Which is family and food.
Yeah, and football.
Fun, family, and food. Family, food. It's all 3 F's. Family, food, football.
So until next week, after we get out of our turkey coma, because turkey does make you go to sleep, unfortunately.
Yeah.
After we wake back up, next week we will be discussing episode 114, Total Eclipse of the Heart, which is in season 1. So, bye guys.
Bye. Adios.